I'm wondering then how I can get more ready for the relationship that's escrow.
Well, give us some dialogue about it. Make an effort to get in that escrow and tell us what is the vibrational essence of the relationship. How will that relationship feel? How does it feel?
I don't want pain.
Now,
I don't want somebody who's ambivalent.
But do you see how ambivalent isn't in your escrow, and when you talk about that, you hold yourself out of the escrow. In other words, you're trying to talk yourself into your escrow, not out of your escrow. So you're wanting to get inside this and feel what this feels like. We started to say, we want you to talk about what will be, but now we want to make a better statement. We want you to tell us what it feels like inside of your escrow now, because it is done. It's not future tense. What's in your escrow is done. So tell us what's in there, not what's out there.
Well, I would feel very happy, very safe.
Safe's
secure.
a tricky word, isn't it? Safe's a little bit like gratitude. When you talk about safe, you point right at the issue that you're trying to overcome. So
I would want to feel very loved, and also I want to feel a chemistry, a romantic kind of feeling.
Yes. So now give us a description of what it feels like to feel secure. In other words, we don't mean a definition. We mean some detail, some examples. What does a relationship like that feel like?
That I won't. I'm not supposed to be.
Well,
I feel
you have to start where you are and then just make it better.
I don't want to feel insecure that the person's going to leave.
Yeah. So that's still on the outside. So get on the inside. So what would it feel like? We know it's hard because when you do feel insecure because someone did leave, it's hard to say anything other than, well, I want not that.
Right.
But when you say, I want not that, you get that.
That's my problem, probably.
So
back to that.
it's all right.
I'm a therapist. So I do this for a living.
So when you get in there, what does a feeling of security feel like? So for example, I love being at home and knowing that my partner's coming and knowing that this is where we both want to be. I love that feeling. So just sort of rest there with that feeling. I love walking down the street and knowing that each of us is so happy to be with each other. And I love sort of reaching out and taking hold of his hand just for a minute, not clinging, not like I'm not letting go of you because you might wander away. But just a reaching and a feeling of exhilaration because here we are together. I love anticipating what he's going to say because I know where this conversation is going, and I like how we anticipate one another's thoughts. That's such a feeling. I like being on the inside of so many jokes with him where we don't even have to explain the whole thing. We just sort of look at each other and we know because we're both right there. I love the feeling of going to sleep and feeling him right there next to me and knowing that this has been a while in coming and savoring the deliciousness of, and here we are. Isn't this good? Just something simple like that. In other words, just telling yourself a story that feels good when you tell it. And just practicing that story till it's more dominant than the other one. Because the only reason the other story is more dominant is because you've been telling it. It's not because you've lived it. It's because you keep talking about what you've lived. If you'll talk more about what you're on your way to and less about what you've lived through, what you're on your way to becomes dominant and you close the gap, and then you see him. But you can't see him when you're tuned to the problem, because the love of your life is not a vibrational match to the problem that you've been living, or the problem that's active within you, or the problem that you keep alive with those kinds of conversations. So don't be hard on yourself, because when anybody picks up the stick that has abundance on one end, it has not enough money on the other end. And to be fair, when you pick up the stick, it has two ends. When you pick up the stick that says relationship, it has security on one end, well-being, coming together, enhancing one another, and it has insecurity on the other end, being left, a feeling of not being loved. In other words, every subject is two subjects. You just got to lean in the direction of what you want. There are relationships that are so delicious that we can't even find words to define them. And there are relationships that are so awful that we wouldn't even want to find words to define them. And yet it's all the relationship stick, you see. You just get to decide which way you lean. Now, here's another way of looking at it. You will like this. And this is really what we were saying to you, that you're not quite ready for your own vibrational escrow. Through all that you've lived, you've created a future you who is secure, who is dynamic, who is prosperous, who stands in a place of loving self and others. You've created a being who is tuned in, tapped in, turned on. That's what's in your vibrational escrow. Source has recognized that you have lovingly and deliberately and not deliberately created over time. A lot of that you put into your escrow before you even came into this physical body. And much of that you've been adding to ever since. So this is a magnificent you in vibration. Done. Law of attraction. Recognizing that and responding to it. That you has created a fabulous relationship. And that relationship has already been summoned to this vortex. So all of the circumstances and events, even the other person, everything has been summoned there. But you're not ready for it yet because you still look at the problem. So when you stop talking about the problem and you start defining what you think might be over there, you just get closer and closer and closer and closer. And as you do, you get happier and happier. You worry less and less. You feel more confident. You feel more secure. You find yourself feeling more ready. You find yourself not feeling mournful or lackful. You don't feel jealous when you see other happy couples. You feel anticipation. It's sort of like, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And as you approach that place where you're feeling hopeful and happy and hopeful and happy and hopeful and happy, one day when you least suspect it, probably when you're thinking about something other than this particular subject, you find yourself in the vortex and you're in there and it feels all familiar and you run right into that person who's already been attracted there, only this time you see each other and you recognize them. And in the moment that you meet in your real life physical experience, which only follows what's going on over here by a little bit of time, when you rendezvous in that real life experience, there's not a wave of inadequacy that washes through you. You don't feel insecure. You don't wonder. You don't feel not good enough. You say, hi. I know you on so many levels of my being, and anything other than coming together is ridiculous in your estimation. You don't say, please come with me and don't go away. You say, come with me. You don't say, I'm worried that you won't stay. You say, I'm glad we're here. You don't say, what took you so long? You say, it was worth waiting for. You don't say, I'm not sure I'm up to speed with you. You say, here we are. The universe has brought us together. We deserve each other. We've been in each other's vibrational escrow. The law of attraction has worked its magic like it always does. And just recently, in the last month or two, I got myself in alignment with what I have put there before. And boy, did I do good because you are so beautiful. Boy, did I do good because we are so beautiful. Boy, did I do good because this feels so good. Boy, did I do good. Boy, am I glad that we're here. Yes, 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 yes. Solution, 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 solution. Answers. Logical, obvious, inevitable, for sure, certain. Has to be, must be, is. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Don't you want to become more familiar with your own vibrational escrow? Don't you want to get in there and savor it more and define it more? Not to create it because it's already created. Don't you want to become familiar with your own vibrational escrow? Don't you want your vibrational escrow, which you have created piece by piece, don't you want to train yourself into vibrational compliance with your vibrational escrow? Isn't that just what it's all about? I'm going to train myself into vibrational alignment with what's in my vibrational escrow that I put there. And when I do, my vibrational escrow and my reality are one and the same. Temporarily. Because it keeps expanding.